This video is brought to you by Nintendo South Africa, who just launched the brand new Switch exclusive Monster Hunter Rise. Be sure to check the links in the description below to get your hands on the game, its exclusive limited edition console, or the gorgeous Pro controller.
If Monster Hunter Rise is your first experience with a long-running franchise, you're no doubt a little unsure about which of the 14 weapon types to start with. Honestly, with different strengths and nuances, they're all viable in their own right, but we recommend heading over to the training area to at least try them all. If you're looking for something that has a lower barrier to entry, so to speak, we get you. Remember, we're also new to Monster Hunter, meaning we had to learn each weapon from scratch too. Here are 5 that we found the easiest to wrap our heads around.
Dual Blades. The dual blades are great starter weapons for newcomers, purely because they offer fantastic mobility, letting you move in and out of combat with ease. They're also somewhat forgiving if you're prone to button mashing, which you're likely to be doing anywhere in the early hours of the game. Like that speed? Push ZR to go even faster with the dual blade's signature demon mode. Activating it alters your attack, movement, and evasion, at the cost of stamina though, so keep an eye on that yellow bar. Landing attacks in demon mode fills up the demon gorge. Max it out to activate archdemon mode, which will enhance some actions and increase attack while the bar is full.
Sword and Shield. The Sword and Shield, while not as fast as the dual blades, are also great for newcomers. One thing that immediately sets them apart is the simple fact that they are the only weapon type that allows items to be used, even if the sword is drawn. With the two in hand, players can bypass the sheathing animation, which can otherwise seem like a lifetime in the heat of a fight. The Sword and Shield provide a great balance of offense and defense, and offer versatility in other ways too. With regards to protection, for example, while it's usually quicker to dodge, you at least have the option to use your shield to absorb damage from incoming attacks. You can also use it to do bash damage, which is ideal for stunning monsters head on. The sword, meanwhile, can be used to slice at the tail and other parts of monsters. Balance the use of the two, and you'll be a well-rounded powerhouse that can adapt to any situation or monster.
Longsword. The longsword may be classified as a heavy weapon, but it feels a lot faster than others, thanks to its great balance of mobility, damage, and speed. Its unique mechanics are also relatively easy to understand. Landing attacks basically fills up a spirit gorge, which you can spend to perform the spirit blade combo by spamming ZR. Land the last attack in the sequence and your sword will move up a level, from white to yellow to red, with each one buffing damage more than the last. Act fast though, that power does slowly drain. Finally, the longsword is a must if you're looking to go full anime. Push ZR and B after any attack to sheathe your weapon, then follow up with Y to land an attack that slowly regenerates your spirit gorge, or time ZR perfectly to land a kick-ass counterattack. It looks great.
Light Bowgun. Although most of Monster Hunter Rise's weapons require you to get up close and personal with your foe, the light bowgun is one of a few range weapons that drastically change up gameplay. It's the most accessible of all the range weapons thanks to its weight, letting you still move around and dodge with relative ease while getting accustomed to the ranged fights. The light bowgun requires you to get familiar with ammo types, which you will constantly be changing during a fight to do specific types of damage to an enemy. Anything from close-range scatter shots to long-range piercing ammo can be loaded up and used, with varying fire rates, ammo clip sizes, and more associated to each ammo type. This is where knowing what your foe is weak to is important, as you don't want to burn through ammunition that isn't as effective. The light bowgun also lets you set traps on the ground using A, which you can use to create deadly rings around a monster to keep them trapped. They act like explosive barrels, exploding to the touch or reacting to any fire you lay on them. Use the traps to zone your opponent and create space, while also punishing their attempts to get close to you.
The Lance. The Lance is one of the slowest weapons on this list, but just because it might be a bit more challenging to adjust to its pace, that doesn't mean it's not a good weapon for starters. The combination of high damage and long range make it forgiving enough to new players, while also teaching the importance of patience and timing. The main attacks of the Lance are mid and upward thrusts, both of which you should use sparingly in short combos before using your deft dodge to disengage and move to safety. The Lance also comes with a shield that lets you soak up a lot of damage, but also pull off devastating counterattacks, some of which you can link into endless thrust attacks that punish a monster trying to overwhelm you. Finally, the lance also benefits from two very useful silk bind attacks. One links you to the monster with the silk strand, letting you pull off aerial attacks and launch yourself towards them infinitely. The other needs to be timed more carefully, as it prepares a counterattack that, if successful, gives you a nice damage boost for a short time. The lance takes time to get used to, but it's a perfect introduction to Monster Hunter's slower, more hard-hitting weapons. And those are our recommendations. Remember, each weapon has way more depth than what we've covered. The training area lets you get used to each one's basic movesets, but you'll definitely want to check out the Hunter's Notes for more details and test your favorite moves and combos on, the actual hunt. What's your favorite weapon thus far? Be sure to let us know in the comments below, and like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.
Thank you to Nintendo South Africa for sponsoring this series of videos. In case you missed it, we also did a beginner's guide for Monster Hunter Rise, which you should definitely check out if you're new to the franchise. If you've not yet committed to the hunt, be sure to check the links in the description below, where you can snag the game, the beautiful limited edition Nintendo Switch, or the absolute fire Pro controller.